would be great, thank you. So the gentleman I'm going to bring up who's going to be our first speaker is somebody that I've known for, goodness gracious, 8 years I think now. And we didn't know each other prior to that. I guess that's how it always works, right? You didn't know him before that, now you've known each other for 8 years. And we got to know each other and kind of slow, we were in different organizations in a previous company. And this gentleman is extremely, extremely successful from a business perspective. Okay? And there's a lot of different success factors that are out there, and I'm not going to steal any of his story, but he's been successful in other endeavors as well. But from a business perspective, I'm going to share on that. He owns and operates at least, I think, what, 5 companies? He's got one of the largest cast stone companies in Houston, Texas, if not the largest. If y'all were with us, who was at the event last night? Cool. First off, did y'all get value out of last night? Yes. That was amazing, wasn't it? It was very, very cool. I'm going to show how that's going to dovetail into the day. But that building, I don't know if y'all noticed, when we were all leaning over the edge and looking down when we were upstairs, those balustrades that were right there, all that stone right there, he did that. He's done that. If you're in downtown Houston and you see all the bridges and you see all that stuff going along there for all those, he did that too. Pretty much if you've seen it, if you see those at the house and you've got the numbers for what your house number is and it's in that stone, he did that too. If it can be done, he can do it. If he can't do it, it can't be done. That's his reputation that he has actually literally all around the United States of America. This guy is pretty amazing. When you first meet him, you're not going to get that impression, and he likes it that way. He likes keeping you guessing. I think we said this the other day, he and I probably spend more time on the phone together than my wife and I do. Okay? Now, I see my wife in person a whole lot more, but I'm just saying, this guy is a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge, and I want you guys to really take in what he's going to bring because it's going to be one of the most important topics you're going to hear today, and that is mindset. So with that, help me welcome to the front of the room, top producing Sapphire, Mr. Brian Penso.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
Well, my name is Brian Penso, and I've known Casey for many, many years, and thank you very much for that introduction, sir.
Yes, sir.
I started building companies when I was 15 years old. I saw my dad leaving early in the morning and getting home at dark, and I decided at an early age that was not going to be for me. So I spent a little bit of money, and I started building companies at 15. I'm a fisherman, so I started building lures and sending them to marinas and stuff like that. So I got that in my blood. And then once I got it in my blood, it was pretty much game over. Stayed around Ohio till about 84. Took a lot of wrong turns and wrong paths. And decided it was time to find a new location, and I ended up in Houston. I started building the big company that he was talking about in 1987. And very small operation. I rented a 275 square foot building. Couldn't afford the electricity. Had a little pump up Coleman lantern. If any of you ever went fishing, you'll know what that is. Now I look like the night watchman walking around my factory pouring concrete every night while I punched the clock as a journeyman meat cutter at one of the largest grocery stores here in Houston, which was called Ocean Hypermarket. I don't know if you all remember that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, what we're going to have to look at is mindset. Your mindset is everything. And if you let anybody alter that, you're in for a long, hard road. Now, my story starts back when I was young and was working my way up. But the reason that I made it where I got to is I had a destination that I wanted to make it to. As I was a young man, I used to watch professional fishing all the time. Back through the 80s and the 90s, that's where I was at all day long, watching all of my idols on TV. And that's where I wanted to be. Now that's a long ways away for somebody who's in their early teens, and that's the goal that I had. So when I started the companies, it's like, okay, there's people telling me I can't do this. You'll never make it. Because to tell you the truth, I'm not an educated man. I can't even spell IT, let alone know what it is. So graduated from high school with C's and D's. Education is not always the ticket. If you're going to school and you love it, I say stick with it. But for me, it was a matter of the long, hard road and the street knocks is where you get your best education. But I got people telling me, hey, you're never gonna make it, you're not educated, you don't know how to run a business. Now, if I would have listened to them at that point in time, I'd probably be still punching a clock for somebody, but I haven't had a job in 27 years. And I like my freedom. I like my toys. So as I started the journey, yes, I was moving along, got a company going, and I'm rolling. You know, I'm making some money, and I'm going, and a bad turn came along. And I went pretty much almost bankrupt. I lost everything. I lost my girlfriend, I lost my house, lost it all. I slept in dirty, filthy warehouses for about 6 years. Cold warehouses, no air conditioning, no heat, and no hot water. So in the middle of wintertime when it's 40 degrees, you know, you heat your bed up with a hairdryer you find at the dollar store. Now I'm talking, I was so far down on my back after getting knocked down, the only thing I could see was up. So there was no other place to go. But that's what you have to look at. You're going to have people tell you that this is stupid, whether it's this company or anything you do. You're going to have people that are going to tell you that it cannot be done. Well, usually the people that say it cannot be done are rudely interrupted by those of us that are doing it. This right here is the most valuable piece of real estate you'll ever own in your life. It's not your house, it's not your car, it's not land. But so few people will invest in it. That's the scary part. The mindset has got to be everything. So I get knocked down, I lose everything, and I crawl my way back up. So I'm going again. And I'm building up, I'm getting more clients, I get a bigger building. So now I'm spending more money building up assets, loans, trucks, that sort of thing. So as I'm going along, I had another bad curve that I did not see coming along. And for y'all, you have to look at what those are. I'm telling you my story, but what I want you to do is look at your story. If someone told you not to do this, if someone told you that this is a bad idea, think about it. I want you to take a couple of minutes and think about all of the times that people told you what you are trying to do is not going to work. Put your hand up if you've had somebody tell you that. Let me tell you something. It makes no difference what they think unless they're footing your bills, paying your way. And that is not going to happen. I had people, groups of people, over and over and over and over and telling me that I would never make it. Now, if I would have gone and bought into that, what would have happened? Nothing. I would still be working at some grocery store broke. So I'm telling you, what we're going to do this morning, I'm giving you something that is going to be valuable from the viewpoint of this is not about me. I want you guys to go into here and look. And I mean look hard. Think about someone that said, that's not going to work. That's stupid. Oh, you're going to go to jail. Don't you know that those are illegal? The naysayers are always the ones. It's a crab in a bucket syndrome. And here's why. When you start climbing the ladder, and those people that are telling you that it cannot be done are still sitting at the ground level, they don't like that. They don't want you to be successful because they're not. And it makes them look 10 times as bad because they are not doing anything. Does that make sense? So what you guys have to do is first, I want you to find it. Everybody in this room got into this business for a reason. You need to find that reason. What was it? Take a couple of minutes and figure that out. What triggered you the what if? Or, oh my God, what about that? What was that? You've got to find it. You've got to find it, and it has to be as real to you as the car that you drive. And do not let anything deviate or allow you to deviate from that. If you have to take pictures of it, I have pictures of all my idols. In my truck, in my room. I have magazines all over the place. So I'm reading articles about people that I want to compete with. Took a lot of money and a lot of time to be able to do what those guys do. So, got knocked down again, and I'm going back and forth here, but I want you guys to understand, my story is my story. I want to hear y'all's story 6 months from now, 8 months from now. That's why I'm up here. My story was written, I executed the book. I am writing now a new story for myself because I've got to shoot to the next level because you never hit a plateau. So, you've got to get to the point where the mindset to the destination has to be figured out. And you have to be focused on it to the point where it's not blurry. And I will tell you, there's a lot of leadership people that will tell you, set that goal, pick that date, and run for it. A lot of times people do that, but they set an unrealistic goal. Very unrealistic. I'm going to make $100,000 in the next 4 weeks. They don't make $2,000 a month, and you're going to make $100,000 in 4 or 5 months. So what happens is they pick a time. The time goes away, and they're up at that date. They haven't gotten what they set their goal for. And in a lot of cases, it's detrimental. How many people, here's a question, I don't know if any hands are going to go up or not. How many people in this room have people in their businesses actually gone away? I thought it was only me. It must be something that we're doing, right? Or something in the water. It's because they don't have a destination in mind. They are not focused. There are several hundred people that are within 25 minutes of this location that should be in this room. But they chose something that was more important. Why? Because the destination is not real to them. They've lost it. They've thrown in the towel. You're going to get knocked down. It's not a matter of getting knocked down. What happens is it's a matter of what you do when you hit bottom. You can lay on your back and say, oh, well, I guess they were right. I'm a failure. It's never going to work. Or you can be like me, bullheaded and stubborn, and say, well, that didn't work. Well, what do I need to do? The destination is the most valuable thing that you got to stay on. And here's why. You don't know the journey. The journey will play out as you move toward the destination. But if you've got a moving target, like a ship without a rudder on it, it's going to go over here, then it's going to drift over there, it's going to drift over there. The destination or the focal point is the most valuable thing that you can come up with. Because as you go down the road, you're going to be moseying along, driving down the road, things are going pretty good. All of a sudden there's going to be a tree across the road. Oh, I don't have a chainsaw. Well, I guess I have to walk back to the farmer's house and get a chainsaw. Or you can turn around and go home. What do you want to do? You want to go home? You want to get a chainsaw?
Chainsaw.
Right. And you're going to have a lot of those. You're going to have washed out bridges. You're going to have people with attitudes. I mean, negativity. Negativity is so strong in this country that people do not want you to succeed. The world is set up, whether you realize it or not, the world is set up for you to fall on your face. When you go into agreement with it, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's just one of those things. You have to stay in control of your destination. So, just for a couple of minutes, Jade, what's your destination?
Freedom.
Cool. What are you going to do with the freedom?
Give it to as many people as I can.
Nice.
There you go. Did you all hear that? Eddie. Come on.
Retirement security.
Retirement and security. Okay. Both are good. But what are you going to do with the retirement and the security?
I'm going to make sure that I don't have, and my family doesn't have the struggles that my parents had, that I saw.
Okay. And what else could you do?
Teach others how not to have the same problem.
Boom. Right there. Did you hear that? Freedom, relinquishing struggles, and being able to teach others how to do that. That's where this is all at. If you stay focused and do not let anything get you off of that path, think about how many people you're going to take with you. That's huge. That is huge. Because people basically function better in groups. Those that try to go off and do their own thing and stay on their own path because I don't need any help, they usually don't get where they want to go. There's just too many blind sides. It really is. So in the persistence, you get knocked down, what are you going to do? Because if you don't pick yourself up, trust me, nobody's going to come along and say, okay, Johnny, I'm going to help you up again. No, they're going to walk right over top of you and say, I told you it wouldn't work. Why don't you listen to me? All right, I'll help you. Go get a job. Exactly. J-O-B, baby. Just over broke. It's always stood for the same thing. It will never change. People pay people enough that they don't tell them to take their job and do something with it. And that they won't walk out. And they pay them just enough to stay. Now, working in my company, as I was building it, I realized that taking care of my employees was the strongest valuable thing I could build. I pay my employees very well. I've had some of them for 17 years. Their loyalty to me and their persistence is because I look out for their best interest. I have the reverse flow. They're not there to serve me. And I've had a lot of them. I am there to serve them, because the more I serve them, the bigger the company gets. People want to come to work. They don't want to say, oh, man, it's Monday. I got to go deal with that dude again. No, because I work in my factory with my guys. This is not normally how I dress. Most of you know me. It's blue jeans and a wife beater if I have a shirt on at all. Because I work in a concrete factory. You know? But my guys respect me. But that was all part of this whole thing. The destination is the most important part. But it's the journey that makes you who you are. It's the things that you figure out along the way that are going to be so valuable, because you're creating the individual, or you're adding to the individual that you are that you just haven't realized yet. Because of whatever someone told you. You're unable to do this. Your communication skills aren't very good. You're not computer smart. I lined up, there's a book that I want you to write down the title of. It was written by Jim Collins. It's called Good to Great. The synopsis of the book is to surround yourself with the right people and get out of their way. Now, how many people in here think I can operate a computer? You're wrong.
Define operator.
You're wrong. By surrounding yourself with the right people, Mr. Casey Salgi, systems guy, 16, 17 years in the industry. Brings a lot to the table. He has simplified this for you so you didn't have to. I cannot operate a computer, but my mind functions like no other. People bring me blueprints. I look at them, I figure it out. The problem is I can't make it a reality on a computer screen so it could be duplicated. So I tell my guy, IT, this is what I want. And he makes it a reality on a computer screen that I can copy, or hang on, they can copy, and then they can email, because I can't do that either. Stop and think about the importance of that. It's not important for me to know how to operate a computer. It's not important for you guys to know how to shipping and receiving, ordering, taxes, permits, any other long list of things that we have to deal with in a normal company. He's made this so simple. All you got to do is get on the bicycle and start pedaling. You don't have to know all of the structures because it's a long list. This is what I'm telling you. Surround yourself with the right people and get out of their way. Listen. I'm a master at it because I'm not that smart. They even did it with Henry Ford. They come in and start asking him a bunch of questions. What about this? What about this? He said, I don't know. He said, give me 10 minutes and I'll have everybody in the room to answer all your questions. Oh, you don't know? Why would I want to know that? I can only handle so much information in here. And the information that you're asking me about is worthless to me. But if you really want the answers, I can get on the phone in 5 minutes. I get all your questions answered. So you see how important that's going to be to you guys? Truly find it. Dig it. Dig down in deep and find the reason why you started this. It's that important. Because if you don't get that, this is going to be very difficult for you to do. All the no's. I don't have the money. How many of you ever heard that? Exactly. It's never about the money. It's about the mind. Because the same woman that tells you nothing, oh my God, $600 to do this? I just ain't got it. But yeah, go out the next week and spend $1,500 on a purse.
Yep.
That's what I'm telling you. This is the most valuable thing that you got to feed. It can be the most beautiful thing in the planet and take you to places you can't even imagine. Or it can be a four-headed demon that will keep you where you're at the rest of your life. Y'all with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. We went to Eddie. You want to come up? Come on, Eddie. Come on.
Turn on.
Listen. What's it say? Developing your why. We got a little bit of it. Let's expand on it.
Okay.
You told us what your destination was. So let's start getting into that a little bit deeper. What are you doing that's different now than you were before? What's triggered?
A whole lot. Well, I feel like I have an unfair advantage because I work directly with Mr. Casey Solid. And Brian and I speak a whole lot. And so I'm constantly getting fed by the things that they have. And so every day I have a new discovery about my why. And it gets stronger and stronger. And we had a power hour a couple of nights ago, and Jamie Harwell spoke about hers, and as Casey was drilling into that, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And so my total operation mode, and I've been with Kayani, be 2 years in next month, September. And my conviction is stronger now than it has ever been, because I truly understand what this thing is about. And I understand now that it's not about a business, which is, as Ryan said, Casey made it so simple. It's about how can I help the next person? And you know, it's kind of subconscious because we always think of what am I doing to help myself? But by truly understanding that my growth comes from helping someone else, as Brian, you said all the time, if we help enough people, we don't have to worry about getting what we need. And so now my whole focus has shifted to having the conversations that are truly just conversations. Nothing around business, nothing around the motives, but finding out what a person needs, what interests them, and then seeing how I could be a help from my heart, not from my pocket. And so by doing that, my total mode of operation has changed, and my determination has changed. So now I'm going back, and I actually have wanted to go back, I mentioned Casey, and talk to everybody that I talked to before, because I feel like I may have missed some opportunities to help them, because maybe my thoughts were more in line with how can they help me with my growth, you know, wanting to get there, instead of how could I help them. So I don't know if I answered your question.
I think so. I think so. That's the thing. It's as we're developing ourselves, we're constantly getting new ideas. And are y'all familiar with what's called a mastermind group? Okay. How close do you stay in it? It's a must. I talked to Eddie quite a bit, and what Eddie just said, he heard somebody say something that took him back to a particular thought or a time or something that got his attention. That's how deep this goes. It's not about blueberries. It's not about sunrise. And it's not about nitro. This is a communication business. Feel, felt, found. It's like you got to find out what they're feeling. You know? It's like you have to relate to them to the point where you can actually remove yourself and put yourself in their position. When you start communicating at that level and looking at a different perspective, it changes everything. Everything changes. Because the people that go out and say, oh, you know, I want to make all this money, and it's me, and, you know, this is, no, what's in it for me? How much money's going in my pocket? Wrong flow. I help people in other organizations all the time that I don't make any money off of. It's not about the money, it's about what's right. And getting this right, you'll find that. You'll find it. So what was your biggest win out of that, Eddie? I mean, what did you really get focused on that? I mean, what was the two before between the eyeballs, as we say?
You mean what hit me the strongest?
Right.
Was that my true why, when it got down to the root cause of it, was that I didn't want to struggle or see my family and friends struggle the way I saw my parents struggle in retirement after working 40 years for someone else, putting in the hard time, riding the bus to work at times, and still raising 4 boys and putting us through school, and you know, having to look at the mailbox. I didn't want to look at the mailbox to worry about when the next check is coming, or not being able to help those others that I can help, you know. So I want to be in a position where not only am I secure, my family's secure, but I can help someone else to spread it, because we're truly all just members of one family, if you really look at it. And in the end, we're going to be valued not on how much money we have, but what do we do to help the next person.
Thank you, sir. That's awesome. When you get into it that far, and you can smell it, you can see it, you will not deviate from your path. Throw out the trees, the blown out bridges, the flat tires, the blown transmissions. It doesn't make any difference. It's not making any difference. But back to me real quick, after almost filing bankruptcy 3 times, losing everything, losing my house, doing that. I was $127,000 in credit card debt. That's a lot of money. And back then, it was 15, 16% interest. That was trucks, transmissions, molds. And I'm looking at this mountain saying, what did I do? Oh, why am I doing this? Want fish? All right, back up. What's it gonna take? And I started over again. If you keep your eye on the prize, you'll never stop. And do not let anybody ever deviate or change the prize that you're focused on. Now, when you get to one prize, you're gonna say, wow, that was pretty cool. Guess what? You're gonna have to create another one. Feeding this never stops. Reading, CDs. How many people in here do personal development every single day? There you go. It's a must. It helps you combat all the negativity that you're getting bashed with on a daily basis. Jobs, bosses that aren't so good, bad drivers, inconsiderate drivers. I mean, it's a long list of things that will definitely tax you on a daily basis. But when you can put all that to the side, turn on a CD player, or flash drive, or open up a book, it helps alleviate that. And now you're putting the fuel back into here. Because guess what's going to happen tomorrow? The same thing. People say, oh, I read that book about 6 years ago. Yeah, well, I think it's been a little 6 years too long. It's maybe time to read it again. Because you can't just read something, hear it once, and retain it. This is the fastest computer on the planet. You're reading something and say, wow, man, this is like the best thing since sliced bread. And it takes you back 6 years. You're still reading. But you have no idea what you're reading. Why? Because your mind just went back 6 years to solve a problem that you saw that you could have handled differently. And you know it's true. How many times you've been reading something and all of a sudden you're back 6, 7, 8 years, 10 years. They call them supercomputers in these big buildings with all the air conditioning. Trust me, it ain't got nothing on this. This thing can compute so much faster than all of them put together. It can compute good and it also can compute bad. When you're building your life and you're doing it and you've got your eye on the destination, what you become throughout the journey allows you to start having more control over this. The people that are constantly going backwards and not getting where they want, it's because they can't control the negative thought, not from the world, but from themselves. Oh, you know you can't do that. See, I told you it wouldn't work. Self-talk can be more detrimental than other people telling you. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I'm going to move on through here because I know we've got a lot more goodies to get to, but the personal development, you need to stay on it. I've got a lot of references to it. I was a life coach and business coach for about 6 or 7 years. I have a very long list of books, things that you can read and look at. But one of the things that I want to make sure you understand about personal development. This guy here, his name is Andy Shaw. I found him about 2 years ago. His epiphany on personal development was he couldn't understand. He was writing a lot of really good books. But the success rates back after consuming the information was very minute. It's like 0.01%. And the thing that he figured out is if you went out and bought a brand new program, best program since sliced bread for whatever the industry is that you're in, and all of a sudden you go home and you try to put it on a virus-infested computer, What's the chances of it going to work? None. That's why people don't do personal development. Oh, I read that book. I knew most of the stuff that was in there. I'm not stupid. That's called ego and attitude. If you know so much, why are you still broke? Why you still got a job? Well, you know, I'm just comfortable. I like, you know, my trailer. It leans a little bit, but I was thinking about getting it jacked up next week. Other than that, I'm all right. I know I got to change that redwood deck because it's rotted a little bit, but I'm doing all right. If you can't check the ego and the attitude at the door, you are in for a long, long, miserable journey. It's funny because when I tell people that, they say, well, you know, I got an interview for another job next week. So, how many jobs you got? I got 2 now. Guy's going to pay me $24 an hour. Okay, that's fine as long as you go to work. What happens if you fall off that redwood deck and break your leg? You can't go to work. Job is not security. Never has been, never will. But they don't see it. It's because they're not willing to expand this to the point where they have that aha moment. Y'all are here. You have the aha moment. And I tell you, I have the utmost respect for everybody that's in this room because you chose to be here on a Saturday. A lot of them chose not. So, as I'm going to go down through here, I've got this video that was shared with me a while back, and it's like, it's not a 2 before between the eyes, it's like a 4 before or an 8 Now, we were going to hire a nurse with some tweezers and some Band-Aids for the splinters, but we decided not to. We figured we'd scare you all off. So I'm going to go ahead and play this and get out of the way.
Life is hard. It's hard when you're 49 years old, been working on a job for 17 years, and they come in and tell you you're finished and give you 1 week severance pay. And you got to start all over again. It's hard when you're married and raising children and your children are crawling and your husband dies unexpectedly. It's hard handling just the tragedies of life. It's hard when you're working on something and you put everything you have in it and it doesn't work out. You lose your money and other people's money. It's hard. It was rough when I lost my job. And I could not find a job. It was humiliating and embarrassing, borrowing money. And then I couldn't pay the money back when I told them I would. That's rough. How people look at you. How they respond to you. It's very hard. It's humiliating. Here's what I discovered that happens to you in life. That you will go through things, and while you're going through them, you can't understand why it's happened to you. But after you go through it, you get back and you look at it and you say, oh, now I understand why I needed that lesson. Have you ever happened to you? Has it ever happened to you that I couldn't understand it then, but after I got through it, then I saw that was preparing me for bigger and better things. As you go through the challenges of life, and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, easy come, easy what? Easy go. See, but when you go at what you're going to deal with and you deal with the difficulties of it, when you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, learning those things that you don't like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through. And I'm saying to you, whatever you got to do it, because if you don't, life is going to whoop you until you surrender. And say, okay, all right. I cooperate. Okay, I learned. Okay. They hadn't wear me out a long time. So if it's hard, then do it hard. Now, how do you hang in there during the hard, difficult times? Les, you must have faith. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas, unquestionably. You've got to have faith, and that faith gives you patience. That it's not going to happen as quickly as you want it to happen. A lot of things are going to happen that will catch you off guard. And so therefore you've got to deal with and handle it as it comes. And not only that, but that faith and patience drives you into action. You've got to keep moving and keep plugging away. In the Far East, they have something that's called the Chinese bamboo tree. The Chinese bamboo tree takes 5 years to grow. They have to water and fertilize the ground where it is every day. And it doesn't break through the ground until the 5th year. But once it breaks through the ground, within 5 weeks, it grows 90 feet tall. Now the question is, does it grow 90 feet tall in 5 weeks or 5 years? The answer is obvious. It grows 90 feet tall in 5 years. Because at any time that that person stopped watering and nurturing and fertilizing that dream, that bamboo tree would have died in the ground. And I can see people coming out talking to a guy out there watering and fertilizing the ground that's not showing anything. Hey, what you doing? You've been out here a long time, man. And the conversation in the neighborhood is, you brought a Chinese bamboo tree, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Well, even Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder can say ain't nothing showing. You know that's how people are doing you. So how long have you been working on this? How long have you been working on your dreams? And you have nothing to show. This is all you got to show. People don't do that to you. And some people, ladies and gentlemen, they stop. Because they don't see instant results. It doesn't happen quickly. They stop. Oh, no. You got to keep on watering your dream. And when it began to happen, they stopped laughing. They said, look, whoa, look at this. Look at, hey man, you know, I know you can do it. Look at you got a job here. See, during those hard times, you know how you're going to make payroll during those times when you failed and things didn't work out? They were nowhere to be found. You know what I discovered? When you were working at your dream, somebody said the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Oh, it's sweet to you. It's good to you. Why? See, when it's hard and there's a struggle, see, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. That's far more important. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. Oh, it's something that you get up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you're a different kind of person. You walk with a different kind of spirit. People know that you know what life is, that you have embraced life. You know it was hard, but you did it hard.
After many, many years of struggling, losing lots of money, getting my butt kicked on a regular basis. That's me. I made it to the top. I fished against the best in the world. I won $40,000 or $50,000 on that event, 3-day event. I have fished professionally all over the United States. From Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas. I pulled my boat a lot of places and a lot of miles. If I would have let any one of the people tell me that what I was doing could not be done, I wouldn't be there. I have literally won hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars doing what I love to do. The journey was not laid out for me. It's never laid out for anybody. The destination, think long and hard about that. People will come into your lives that are needed at certain times. You can't plan the destination, or you can't plan the journey. As he was saying, you're out there watering a bamboo tree. Only you can see what it is you're going after. The other people that are out there that look at you going out and doing meetings and talking to people and doing that stuff, oh man, you must have lost your mind. How long have you been doing that kayaki stuff? Long enough to know I need to keep doing it. How much money you made? Enough to keep my attention. Doesn't make any difference. You answer a question with something that suits you. Because it's just like he said, oh yeah, I knew you could do it. You got a job? Oh, I kept telling you were going to fall on your face, but now that you're at the top, you got a position for me? I'm looking for a new job. They will beat you like a dog to keep you down, but when you bust the chains and go and hit the summit, now they won't be your best friend. Because they're looking for a ride. They wouldn't want to take the hard road. They're looking for the cushy stuff. Oh, well, you made it, so, you should be able to just, give me a handout and help me along. I'll give you a hand up 7 days a week. But we don't know how to do a handout. Because handouts never, ever work. It goes right back to you can give a guy a fish, and he'll eat for a day. If you can teach him how to fish, I make a bunch of money and he fish whatever I want. A lot of fish. Let's put it this way. If I took all the fish out of the lake that I catch, they'd have to restock it pretty good. I'm just kidding. I'm pretty good, but those guys were better at it than what I was. I beat the best in the world on numerous occasions, but they beat me a whole lot more. And I'm actually looking to go back on tour. I needed a vacation from it. It's a hard life, believe it or not. Oh, you fish for a living? Yeah. Come out with me for a couple of days and you'll be heading home. I have fished tournaments in 17 degrees with snowing so hard that you can't even see across the lake. And my baby does 72 miles an hour. And at that kind of temperature at 70 miles an hour, believe me, is miserable. But when you lay $4,000 down for an entry fee or $6,000 down for an entry fee, that's just what it costs for me to say, hey, I'm showing up to the party. That's not travel, fuel, lodging, everything. But I got to play my game, folks. That's what I want you to understand. So I'm going to leave it at that. She's sweet, and she's paid for. Yes. That's the nice thing. Well, that's going to be my time. But before I turn it over to this gentleman that everybody knows, I want you to take right now just a couple of minutes. And I want everybody to do it. I want you to close your eyes and take a couple of minutes. And I want you to focus on what it is that you saw. What was the reality that's just burning you that you don't have? What was your reason for doing this or anything else? What's the focal point? I want you to take a few minutes, close your eyes, and find it. Go ahead. Okay. Could you see it clearly? In most cases, when you get down to it, you can smell it, you can feel it. You have to visualize it as it's already done. That's the key. You have to see this as it's already done. You're just in the process of creating it and bringing it to your reality. Do that daily. You start getting hit with chaos and all kinds of crazy stuff. Lunchtime, whatever. Close your eyes. Shut this down to the point where you're not thinking about anything but what it is you are focused on. What is the dream? Do it daily. Do it multiple times a day if you're having a bad day. Because that is what the catalyst is for you to keep going and get you through those bad, miserable days. Because you're going to have another one next week, another one the next week. But if you have that, and it's in stone, it's burned in your mind, no matter how bad the day is, you can turn it around. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate your time.